Mr. Speaker, I rise for a point of personal privilege.
Delegate has the floor.
Mr. Speaker, members of the House, as I stand, I'm sorry to disappoint, but no, I'm not giving my retirement speech. That is presuming I may be back. Just hoping, but just saying. Mr. Speaker, members of the House, I grew up the youngest of 8 kids. There were 6 of us boys. And so I learned very early in life what it's like to sometimes be in the minority, shall we say. That we would frequently, as children, engage in various games, and being the run of the litter, as it were, I oddly found myself in the circumstance frequently where the rules changed as the game played out. That if little runt baby brother started doing better than the older ones anticipated, they just changed the rules. Rules matter. Mr. Speaker, members of the House, you got to know the rules of the game before it starts. You got to know the rules of the game in order to know that you're going to have a fair shake. Rules matter in this body because they're designed to ensure majority rule, but also protect the rights of the minority. That's why every 2 years, under provision 81 of the House rules, we adopt new rules. And this year, we amended them slightly. On January 10th, 99-0, we made some minor changes. Mr. Speaker, as you know, this is my 30th session as well. And during those 30 years, we've been in the minority. We've been through power sharing. We've been in the majority. And now we're kind of back pretty close. Through it all, rules matter. Through it all, you don't play games with the rules. You don't change the rules, metaphorically, when there's 30 seconds left on the game clock, just so that you can get one more play out on the field before time runs out. Rules matter. Rules matter to this institution because that's why we're still here 400 years after this process started. They matter more than any single issue. Mr. Speaker, members of the House, during those 30 years, I've seen times when we as the minority proposed rule changes. They weren't right and they didn't pass. When we made motions to discharge, we made motions within the rules to try and get our agenda items brought before the body. And, Mr. Speaker, I've heard on this floor for the past several days, that's what these rule changes are all about. Let the body have a vote. The rules allow you a way to do that. The rules allow a motion under Rule 39 to bring a resolution directly to the floor. That gives you your vote. That's within the rules. But no, we can't do that, Mr. Speaker. That's never been proffered here. We're going to change the rules. Rules matter. Because if they don't matter, we become like Washington. Delegate Griffith, when he was here the other week, he and I discussed and have done on a number of times, his single greatest frustration in that process is they have rules, but they change them all the time. They pass a motion to suspend the rules so they can do whatever they want. Mr. Speaker, members of this body, I think we're that close. We're that close when we're considering rules changes that allow one measure to come through directly to the floor. We just do away with the committees. We'll just do it all in here. Just have a free-for-all in every issue. Mr. Speaker, members of the body, through all my years, both in the majority and the minority, every speaker I have served under and the body as a whole has always recognized that the rules of governing are more important than any single issue, no matter how politically expedient that may be. Some of you were here during the time when, during President Obama's initial inauguration, one of the senators went up to the inaugural event. That created a circumstance whereby in the Senate, they attached to a House redistricting bill making fine-tuning adjustments. They dropped a whole new Senate redistricting plan on top. The politics said the Speaker would accept it. The Speaker asked me privately, did I think it was germane? I said, clearly not. Because clearly, under the rules of the House, It went beyond the single purpose that was making tweaks to the House districts. The Speaker at that time, Speaker Howell, under tremendous political pressure from his majority on this side and definitely from the Senate counterpart, did the right thing. Because rules matter. Mr. Speaker, members of this body, 49-51, whatever the number is today, if you're a student of politics, the majority will shift. That's why rules matter most of all. Because while in the majority today, rest assured, that side will someday be in the minority, and vice versa. But the rules assure democratic representation throughout the process for both sides. Rules matter. Ms. Speaker, members of the body, a vote for the rules changes that we have pending before us coming up tomorrow is a vote for the premise that the end justifies any means to get to it. If any means to achieve your political end becomes justifiable, then I fear we are ensuring this body becomes as dysfunctional as our federal government across the Potomac. My daddy told me many years ago, when I found myself in a situation where I could get a little payback on some of my brothers after all the things they had done to me over the years, he said, Bobby, just because you think you can doesn't necessarily mean that you should. The ends does not justify the means. Rules matter. We have governed through all these years within the rules, changed them every 2 years as the circumstances change. But, Ms. Speaker, rules matter, and I hope we'll remember that tomorrow.